You know, one of the great stories that I've run into in my lifetime is, and I mean this, is Charnel Herring. Y'all don't know how lucky you are to be represented by somebody like that, and she gets along great with the other members of the House of Delegates, and it's and particularly the Republicans, and that's important right now because the Democrats are down 61-39, Charnel. So if you're going to get anything done, you obviously have to get along. And I can tell you from the conversations I've had with Bill Howe, the Speaker of the House, she's extremely well liked. We'll all find out, hopefully, in about a month to 6 weeks what our districts are finally going to be. And hopefully, you know, we don't have to run 2 or 3 years in a row like happened in 1981. But she's done a great job. You know, listening tonight to some of the people who are running for office, you know, either for the first time or just listening to what they have to say. I remember I ran for the House of Delegates in 1975, and it was the year I got elected. And I really didn't know a whole lot about what I was doing. I'd never been to Richmond before. It was almost kind of a lark, and when I got elected, I was surprised. Didn't know what to do. But the first day or two, I was out door knocking, and I had not given this much thought. A guy asked me at the door, and he says, "Well, what do you stand for?" And I hadn't thought anything about it, so I kind of flippantly said, "Truth, justice, and the American way." and he says, "Works for me and works for Superman." He says, "I'll vote for you," and shut the door. And when I got home, I told the campaign manager what had happened, and she said, "I don't think you better rely on that again." and so I did. We had a pretty good session, and I'll get more into, you know, what happened when we have the legislative wrap-up. But the Senate budget came closer to prevailing than the House did. And quite frankly, the House budget had the Senate conferees, and I'm one of them. Had we gone in and said to the House, "We like your budget, we'll agree to everything that you have in there," they'd have had a cement baby. Because they knew that that couldn't stand. They did this to appeal to their base, and that party right now, and I don't see it changing any time in the future, is in an absolute death grip of both the Family Foundation and the Tea Party. I mean, they totally control that whole operation. And I mean, I saw people cast votes down there that they knew were totally wrong, and they're terrified of a primary. And I just told them, I said, sooner or later, you're going to have to make a decision whether you're just going to represent them or represent the people who elect you. So it's a problem, and they're going to have to deal with it. And quite frankly, I don't think it's going to be long before that crowd across the river wears out its welcome. And I think you're likely to see that, you know, with their efforts here in Richmond. I don't know if you saw the paper today, but it was a rather lengthy article on the Tea Party. They were upset because we killed all their anti-immigration bills. You know, I told them early on when they came to see me that we are not going to turn Virginia into another Arizona as long as I have anything to say about it. And incidentally, I was at a conference out in Santa Fe, New Mexico last September, and I met the I met the president of, and he spoke for a little bit, the president of the Arizona Senate, and he told me, he says, "If you think what we passed is bad," he says, "you should see what I stopped." And but getting back to it, our budget prevailed. The governor wanted to spend $150 million of general fund money, of which 1/3 is public schools. He wanted to spend that on roads, and we didn't. They had $150 million in the House budget. We had 0 general funds in ours. We settled at 32.7. They had virtually no money for health and human services. We had, in fact, they cut it 37 million. We had 114 million. We settled at over 100. We pretty much prevail on the things that you all are, you know, have an abiding interest in. Am I going to run again? The answer is yes. I'm not walking out of there. you all remember Wiley Mitchell. If the Republican Party was made up of all Wiley Mitchells, believe you me, I'd just spend the whole winter in Honolulu, but it's not. And I'm not walking out of there and allowing the lunatics to run the asylum if I've got anything to say about it. So anyway, that's, I am going to run. We are going to get districts. Charneil's going to be just fine, and she has done one hell of a job. Okay? Thank you all very much. And I got to tell you, I've really enjoyed representing you all for the last 8 years, and hopefully I'm still going to have at least part of this city. All right? Thank you.